the Colonial Inn in Concord, Massachusetts. A building rife and steeped in history. The Revolutionary War fought just outside its doors, the Minutemen that crossed, and the countless souls of both sides who were dragged into this building in hopes of saving lives.
There it is, room 24.
Room 24 was the last stop for many soldiers.
I will now attempt to open the door with this key here that clearly says room 24. There we go.
Oh, wait a minute.
Whoa.
Wait a minute, open that door again. Open it and push it back.
Unfortunately, what I had stumbled upon brought me grave concern. We trust these ghost hunting outfits to be truthful, but sometimes that's not the case.
Okay, this is the door that the ghost hunters... Well,
that's my movement.
That's the movement, yep. This door, look. It's already heavy. Here, can you tape this? Tape me doing this. This is the door that the TAPS crew claimed moved on its own, and when you see the video that they took of it, you can see that it does move. When we first opened this door, if you look, the door itself has a tendency to close. Now when it's back here all the way, it remains stuck.
No one wants to acknowledge that they may have been duped, but when things don't add up, we need to look closer.
That stops it about there. And then the door will move. I'm gonna play around with that later on.
Room 24 at the Colonial Inn has quite the sordid history. For the fallen soldiers who could not be saved, they were brought to this room, operated on, and assumed to be deceased.
I get the feeling that it's a little anxiety I feel still.
You feel that?
Yeah. I got an anxiety, like a chill right here, just like in the middle of it.
Standing right there. This is a very small room too. There's a stillness in here, isn't there? Judy Cole had her honeymoon here, and she slept in this bed right here on this very spot. And where Rick is standing is where she saw the apparition of what she called a very tall, dark, shadowy figure. She believed it was male, and she awoke out of a sleep to see this one standing above her with a feeling that she was being watched. It freaked her out quite a bit, and this is really where the stories began.
While there may be many spirits that roam the halls of the Colonial Inn, one in particular has caught the attention of many people worldwide. Ralph Waldo Emerson, the writer and poet, is said to have taken residence in these halls.
So, since I've asked whatever is here to come out and make themselves known to us tonight, as I was saying that, I started feeling more warm, and I started getting this anxiety. Almost feels like, I mean, to be honest with you, the only way I can really describe it is if you're tripping and you feel like you're gonna have a bad trip, that anxiety is just before you have a bad trip. That's what it feels like. And my palms are sweating right now. I can feel it here. As I'm talking about it right now, I feel a recession of this energy, but I feel it here. It knows we're here. We're here to talk. We want to know about you. We want to document it and show this world with people who don't have any belief or any understanding about what goes on in the afterlife. We want you to help us. We want you to help us to bring that to light for them, to show that there really is something. I really don't know how I feel right now. I feel kind of dizzy. But it's like coming in waves. It's like coming in droves.
I don't know. I don't feel anything over here. If she's on this side of the bed. Is that a figure? I don't know. You got all these windows here. Could be shadows or something.
Could be.
A street light coming by in this wall. We'll have to know once it's dark out. See, we got street lights moving here. This just happened from the car light. See?
Oh yeah.
This could be, you know, focused at night. So.
That's true, actually.
But that doesn't explain a shadow figure either. That would explain shadows.
Yeah, that would only be some kind of play on lights.
Right. I mean, even if this was broadcast, it's not gonna look like a figure.
Now that's weird. Now I don't feel that anxiety that I did a moment ago. I don't feel that. It like comes in very punctuated bursts.
Where you're standing, or?
It's almost a feeling of dread. I don't know. It started over here. Yeah, like I feel it here, where I'm standing. I feel it here. I don't feel it here. It's like a thickness. It's like a thickness that it's a thickness that I can't really describe it because it makes my hands heat up, but it just a very nervous feeling, I suppose. Just a very nervous feeling. But still not as strong as it was a moment ago.
There was about a 2-foot circle that could be observed and identified in way of stepping into this space and stepping out. It made me feel queasy, anxious, and dizzy, but it was only in this one place.
Okay, I just want to illustrate, we have an EMF detector here. It's a very simple device. Basically, I'm measuring at this place that I'm standing about a 1. Constant 1. Now, of course, we have equipment plugged in over there with the computers and stuff. That's gonna throw it off just a little bit because they emit the frequencies, electromagnetic frequencies. Man, I'm a really great narrator, aren't I? All right, so but we walk over here. You can see it's starting to get a little bit higher. There you go, 1.5. Okay, this is kind of where I was feeling that anxiety before. Still at a 1.5. Now we've come over here. We creep up to almost a 2. That's a 2. Now, if you look, just outside here, we have some power lines. That might be causing this reader to pick up on that. However, I can show it, you know, if I push it up to the window, pull it back down, it might be something in the actual structure of the place itself that's causing that. So we're going to take that into consideration, that this is reading at a 2 milligauss.
As much as some of us would love to believe in the activity of the paranormal, it's important that we use certain scientific methods and debunking to verify what it is that we're experiencing. There is, of course, another side to this, wherein it's more tactile and perhaps intuitive, but either way, you know when something touches you. What you're about to see is a very loose account of what I felt
okay, so
in this room.
basically, what just happened was, Rick, if you take this. While I was lying on the bed, I could feel something come and sit on my legs So I encouraged it by asking it to do so, more pronounced. And sure enough, I have some baggy pants on. As I'm lying still, if you don't move, you obviously are not feeling any of the fabric move unless there's something, causing that. What I felt was if someone just pushed slightly onto my jeans for a moment and then held my leg like this. It was predominantly my left leg. I'm sorry, my right leg. No, it was left leg. Yeah, I'm lying on that. It's left leg. And the grip felt cold. It wasn't icy, but it was cold. It was a good solid 20, 25 degrees colder than what my body was feeling at that time. So far we've got some pretty good results. Let's check the audio and see what we got.
As I laid on the bed, I remember feeling a heaviness. Immediately, there was a feeling that somebody was touching my leg, and it was discernibly colder than the air around. It almost felt like a hand, if I could imagine it in my mind's eye. I then invited it to get closer, wherein it felt like it actually sat on both of my legs, wherein I was asking Rick to check if there was a depression. Though none could be seen, the tactile sense was there. The whole experience lasted for about 15 or 20 minutes. I began to feel uncomfortable and wanted to get up. At this point, we decided to head downstairs and speak to Paul, the desk clerk, who had agreed to show us around and give us a little bit of history on the property.
Well, this is it, yeah.
It's a new carpet put in, so I don't think that affects the ghost. That's the table that there was a woman seated there.
This one right here?
Yeah, like I'm not sure where the positioning of the guest was, but they were eating here,
Mm-hmm.
and they look over and they saw this, woman just sitting there.
The round one right in the corner
Right
there?
in the corner. That's where the taps guys they all sat there and they were looking off in that direction, where they saw a like a shadowy figure kind of on the wall or something that made them feel that it was it was a shadowy figure. There was light there from the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and it was blocked all of a sudden.
Okay, right.
So
I remember
like
that
they
now.
felt that the only way that it could be like that is if somebody was looking in from the other side through the porthole in the door.
Oh,
You know,
right,
I
right,
can show you
right.
that door. My thought is, being, the anti side of it is that there's a plexiglass panel on that wall
Mm-hmm.
that catches a lot of light in general. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think they might have just saw, like a glare.
While Paul was certainly a skeptic, we found ourselves back at square one, with an outfit that we had believed had some sort of credibility. Once again, if it was this easily debunked, somebody didn't do their research. We're not in the way of ousting people that don't deserve it, but in this case, there are a lot of questions. With this in mind, there are certainly a number of guests who have had paranormal experiences or things they couldn't explain happen to them within these walls. Perhaps the investigation in question wasn't thorough enough.
I mean, I think there is something. I always feel something weird coming around certain corners. I don't know if it's I got it a little bit in my head,
Right.
but I feel the same thing as like the whole alien argument is that we'd be pretty arrogant if we think we're the only ones in this universe, right? He told me, and I didn't bring this up to you. He told me like I don't know. This was now it might be close to a month ago, but there were like 2 or 3 servers waiting for plates coming out from the chef, and 3 plates or 2 or 3 plates went flying off, just boom.
Really?
And that was one of the most that was witnesses, and they felt like there was no way those plates could fly like that.
Wow.
So they were forced off. So that was like pretty freaky. I mean, if I was there seeing that, I'd be a believer for life.
Of course, the same could be applied to ufology, wherein people see UFOs en masse. It lends to more credibility when there are more eyewitnesses about, and they each have their own corroborating stories. The paranormal world is absolutely no different.
Hey, that's Henry David Thoreau.
Oh, wow.
He is the,
He was one of the owners.
he's his son. Yeah, the deed was passed off to him, I think, second or third generation.
But one thing is they noted with the mirrors and the street lights, there is a lot of light
That is
that
true.
bounces around in this room.
That is true.
Yeah, we noticed that right away. Yeah, that could leave a lot of shadows from
This
headlights
is
coming
actually
by.
where they, from what I was told, they did all the, bandaging up the wounded. Just beyond that door is the stairwell where it goes up to your room.
So they would, okay, that makes sense,
Yeah.
because I was wondering if that connection, because it was on the second floor, you know what I mean, how readily
Yeah, I
they
guess
were
that's where
gonna-
the doctor's office, or they staged an area where they can do operations up there for the severe. So if they were brought here, it was more like they might have had the amputated leg, they'd send them upstairs, and the doctor would do that himself. So.
Alright, so here we are in the dining room. As Paul had just explained the history of this room. Soldiers would come here to be bandaged, and if they were wounded badly enough, they'd be taken right upstairs to room 24. Which, as Paul said, there's a stairwell right here that leads right up to that room.
So the worst of the worst would be sent upstairs to where we're staying.
Yeah. Yeah.
This room certainly held a very peculiar space. While I didn't feel anything in the way of moving energy, in the way that perhaps spirits do, there was an undulating vibration that made you feel very uneasy. The flow of energy throughout the room, in any feng shui sort of respect, if you will, seemed to move right towards that door that led up to our room.
The rug does go all
Raised up. So
Yeah, this- Well, that's the thing, like, it gets stuck right where it actually, like, nobody's trampled very much.
If it doesn't, then it's gonna swing over. Yeah.
Yeah, but look how far back the thing is basically at the wall right now.
No, but they knew about this and they had it set up.
There
Look,
had to be.
Stop.
Yeah.
Let go. Stop. Look.
Yeah.
They
It's not
knew
even
about-
an inch.
They knew about this before
That's-
they did that.
that's-
And they used that in their show to get something.
That's fucked up.
That's what it is.
That's fucked up.
That's exactly what that is. You know it as soon as I open the door.
I'm looking, yeah. Yeah, this is the
There's
ghost
no
hunter's
explanation.
claim. You know, this is one of the biggest things they found here was, you know, this door moving and, you know, closing on its own while the guy stood right here on the spot. Now, if you look, as Rick was showing us, you want to take a... Alright, if you look, here's the door. This is the door all the way back. If I pull it forward an inch, it'll stay. If I pull it forward another inch itself, that's when it starts to let go. And as you can see, okay, the door will close. Now if I was to be back here, with the door set, just as such.
In the Taps episode, one of the members is standing close to the door about where I am now. He steps back, and sure enough, the door hits him right in the butt. As he goes forward and tries to replicate this, he again stands in front of the door and moves back, and we are left with this.
As you close it,
Done. There you go.
tap.
That's it.
So what happened? Essentially, because this building is so old, the floors actually give way a bit when you walk on them. They were able to prop the door up in such a way that, given enough space, they could walk on a creaky board, and this would sink and allow the door to give way and give the impression that something paranormal might be moving it. While this is not a close and shut case, it is something to think about, especially when we look up to some of these paranormal groups that are touting what they come up with as absolutely real. The Colonial Inn was a very interesting place, each room having its own energy and vibration, and at the end of the stay, I was very thankful that I had a moment and a night to sit and talk with some of these spirits. We caught some audio, but unfortunately, through many moves, the majority of the footage which is caught on High 8, along with the audio tapes, have been lost. What you've seen today is what's left of the footage from this investigation. Thank you for watching.